Good afternoon, Mr. Cook.
Good afternoon. All your IT problems solved today?
I hope so. That's why I wanted to get on a little bit early, see, just to
Yeah,
just to make sure. Yeah, I'm
I
not the
know.
most savvy at helping myself.
Well, I'm not either, and I used to be in that business many years ago, but that was way, way back. A little bit more sophisticated now. So
Good to see you, Mr. Cook. We'll get started
good to see you.
as soon as everyone gets on. Thank you. Afternoon, Miss Bridgewater.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. How are you?
Doing well. Hope you are as well.
I am. I am.
When is the SAP reset date?
I knew that was your next question. It's July the 2nd.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Miss Milton.
After July 2nd, don't forget. After July 2nd?
July 2nd, yes, ma'am.
No, after July 2nd is a very, very special day.
What is that?
July 3rd?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, let me be the first. Happy birthday.
What a
Thank you.
guess. Oh, you're almost an independence baby.
Oh,
Almost.
Officer Milton, we have, last I heard, Mr. Jordan was having some trouble finding another, a conflict attorney. So,
Right.
I hate that, frankly, but we may need to expand the field a little bit. I'm going to ask him about that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to be 36 years old.
You are.
You know this is live on YouTube, Officer Milton.
It's not recording, and courtroom 2 is not on.
Well, I don't think you're under oath. I'm not sure. Although it is in a court and you are talking to a judge, I don't know.
If he tell on me, that means I'm getting a birthday present.
Oh no,
okay.
no, that means I'm 50, which is whoa, wow. That's Ripley's Believe It or Not stuff right
Yes.
there.
I have
Well,
Miss Arnold, Angel Arnold here, and Vanessa Amaya.
Yes, well, Angel, we're working on a conflict attorney. I don't know. We'll keep trying.
And who's the second one?
Amaya, Amaya.
That's position number 1.
I
Yes.
was able to interview. I'm ready to proceed.
Okay, can we get started?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. Amaya. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003896D with fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, improper erratic lane change, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and driving under the influence of alcohol less safe. Let's see. Good afternoon, Ms. Washington.
Good afternoon. And this is the defendant's first arrest, no prior history. The defendant does meet the criteria for UJR jail. Nothing further.
Good afternoon, Ms. Desiano.
Good afternoon again, Your Honor.
Yes.
In this case, this incident occurred June 16th, 2024. Officers were traveling on Holcomb Bridge Road when they observed a black Mazda that was failing to maintain its lane and was straddling the line of 2 lanes. The officer initiated a traffic stop, and the vehicle initially stopped at a Shell gas station. The officer was waiting for backup because the windows were so tinted he couldn't see inside. And while he was waiting for backup, the vehicle left the parking lot and started going down Holcomb Bridge Road again, westbound. The officer was able to get in touch with the defendant's family members, her friends and her boyfriend, who were with her earlier that day. They advised that she had been drinking at a concert earlier. They were concerned she hadn't come home yet. Eventually, the boyfriend got a call from a stranger's number, and it was the defendant saying she was lost and her tire had blown out. So they were able to make contact with her at that point. The officer met with her. The vehicle was damaged in the front. The front tire was blown out as if she struck something. The defendant was asleep in the driver's seat. The officers questioned her about her drinking. She admitted that she'd had 2 drinks, but she thought she was in Roswell when she was actually in Atlanta, and she had no recollection of the police pulling her over the first time. Your Honor, I understand this is her first arrest, but this is a pretty serious DUI, and thank goodness no one was hurt. The state's recommending a $1,000 good bond on the fleeing, a $500 good bond on the remaining 3 counts, for a total of $2,500. No driving without a valid license, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is actually gainfully employed as a public health administrator for HIV positive tests, and she has a bachelor's degree, and also this is her first arrest ever. We would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial, whichever level Your Honor seem to find it appropriate. And that's about it, Your Honor, as of now.
Okay, for the fleeing, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the improper erratic lane change, a $500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Obstruction, $500 signature bond through pretrial level 1. DUI, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. Amaya. And Ms. Bridgewater, do you know if we'll be able to get a conflict attorney today or not?
I'll check on it.
Okay, if not, I can go forward with Ms. Champion.
Yes, sir. We do not have a conflict for today.
Okay, so let me go ahead and address. Tell me who we have in ACDC.
Angel Arnold.
Good afternoon, Ms. Arnold. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Ms. Arnold, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. Unfortunately, we do not have a conflict attorney, which we would need to represent you. I can either allow you to proceed pro se without the advice of an attorney today, or I can reschedule you until tomorrow until we can get a conflict attorney. What would you like to do today, ma'am?
Can I ask you a question first?
Yes, ma'am.
If we do tomorrow, what's the soonest I can come?
Well, you'll be at the same time. We have court the same time. Do you want me to hear your case today? And if you believe you need an attorney, then we can get you one for tomorrow.
Please?
Okay, so let me see what it's about so that I'll know how to proceed.
Your Honor, this is a cross defendant with another defendant today, Danny Jones. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Ms. Fatai or Miss Kim has Danny.
He's position number 9.
Okay, so
That would be Mr. Tai, I think.
Yes, he's coming up now.
thank you. Ms. Arnold, you've been charged in case 24 CR 003890G with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Washington?
Your Honor, this is the defendant's first arrest. No prior history. We do recommend UJR jail. Nothing further.
Okay, and so if that's Mr. Danny Jones, position number 9, good. Let me just take him at the same time. Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, you've been charged in case 24 CR 003889G with simple battery family violence as well. Does he have a history, Ms. Washington?
This is the defendant's 6th arrest with multi-state interaction in Arkansas and Georgia. The last arrest was in February of 2022 for a DUI and driving while license suspended. There's a 2011 felony conviction for possession, purchase, or sale of marijuana, and a 2011 felony conviction for possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. The defendant does meet the criteria for level 2. Nothing further.
Okay. Yes, Ms. McCockey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Defendant Arnold and Defendant Jones got into a verbal dispute as they were driving home from a restaurant. Defendant Arnold states that Defendant Jones struck her in the head with his fist twice, while Defendant Jones states that Defendant Arnold started slapping him and he hit her back in an attempt to defend himself because he was driving a moving vehicle at the time. Neither parties had any injuries. The state's recommendation for Defendant Arnold is a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with Defendant Jones, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and I will defer to the court regarding a stay away. The warrant does state that the parties live together, but I don't know whose name is on the lease, if they own the property, if they rent the property, things like that. For Defendant Jones, the state is also recommending a signature bond through pretrial services, no further contact with Defendant Arnold, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond, and again, deferring to the court regarding any stay away.
Okay. Before I hear from Ms. Arnold, Ms. Atai, given your client's history, I am inclined to give him an SOB through pretrial at the recommended level. What I would like to hear about, in addition to whatever you have to tell me, is whether they want contact or not. And if not, then what your client desires.
Yes, Your Honor, he would like no violent contact and to be able to return to the home. And I will just say, I know he's recommended for a signature bond at level 2, but this was a dual arrest. He does have a 4-year-old that he cares for. He also runs 2 businesses. And so I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial at level 1.
Okay. Ms. Arnold. So if you'll unmute there, Officer Milton. I am going to give you a signature bond, which means that I'm going to let you sign on your own recognizance. I'm going to give you a signature bond through the jail. Okay. What I need to know from you is whether or not It appears that Mr. Jones wants to continue contact and wants to stay in the household. Is that what you desire?
I'm fine with it.
No, you don't have to be fine with it. You tell me how you feel. You don't have to be fine with it. If you don't want it, you let me know that that's not something that you desire, okay?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, and you all have a child together? No?
No, I'm just the step mom, basically.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so, Ms. Arnold, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Mr. Jones, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck to
Thank
you,
you.
Ms. Arnold, you're welcome. Mr. Jones, for you, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with Ms. Arnold, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you also, sir.
Thank you so much.
Your Honor, did you say level 1 or level 2 for Mr. Jones?
Level 1.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It was jail for Miss Arnold, though, right? SOB jail for
It
Miss
was
Arnold.
jail. Yes, it
Okay.
was.
Thank you.
Position 10, Mr. Leon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Leon. You have been charged in case 24 CR 003887J with hit and run and, well, with hit and run. I think that's one charge. Is that right, Ms. McConkey?
Yes, that's right, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And just let me, since I haven't, let me address everyone in the jail there. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. If you have a problem with your case being heard by video, please let me know that when you come before me. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. We are providing you with the services of a public defender today if you choose to utilize their services. Ms. Washington, does Mr. Leon have a history?
Yes, Your Honor, this is a defendant's 5th arrest. The last arrest was in April of 2013 for a probation violation. I'm sorry, I think that's wrong, 2023 for a probation violation. The defendant did receive first offender treatment in 2016 for arson and cruelty to animals. It does not show that the matter was sealed on the GCIC. There is a 2015 felony conviction for purchase, possession, or sale of marijuana, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and possession of a Schedule II controlled substance. But the defendant does meet the criteria for level 1. Nothing further.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant's car was in the process of being repossessed by the victim, Michael Panslitz, when the defendant accelerated his vehicle forward and hit the victim's vehicle. The defendant also did approach the victim aggressively, got in his personal space, and the victim, Mr. Panslitz, pushed him, and the defendant told the victim that he had a piece in his car. The defendant then entered his vehicle and drove away. The victim's dash cam video did show the defendant accelerating his vehicle and hitting the victim's vehicle. The state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Michael Panslitz, and no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
Mr. Ty?
Your Honor, well, first, I would just like to clarify with pretrial because the last arrest that I see is April 2013 for a probation violation. That's what's on the pretrial report that I got, so 11 years ago. Your Honor, my client is 35 years old. He has lived in Georgia for most of his life. He is residing in Johns Creek and working for Uber and DoorDash and also jobs through Turner Job Corps. he does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. When I read the warrant, it reflects that there was the collision and then he got out of the car. When he got out of the car, the complaining witness told the police that he pushed him to the ground with both hands. And then he left. My client left for his own safety. And where was he found next? At the Alpharetta police station. So I don't see how this is a hit and run. And I don't see how there was no other, that this complaining witness is here as an alleged victim after pushing my client to the ground when he exited his vehicle. It's not a hit and run. So he does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. He was at the Alpharetta Police Department to get help and then ends up swiftly arrested. It doesn't make sense to me. So I would ask for a signature bond through the jail.
Okay,
Based
and
on
what's-
my reading of the warrant, he was getting his car repossessed. It seemed like he was upset that his car was getting repossessed. Then he hit the repossessing person's vehicle, then got out of his car, went up to the person who was repossessing his vehicle, got in his face. Based on the victim wanting to protect himself, yes, he did admit to pushing the defendant. Then the defendant told him he had a weapon in the car. Then the defendant got in his car and drove away. And there is dash cam video that shows the defendant driving his car into the victim's vehicle.
And did he, Miss McConkey, did he go to the police station? Is that where?
I would need to verify that, Your Honor. Let me
And
just
what's the alleged victim's last name?
Michael Pantslist, and I can spell that for you. It is Pantlitz.
Mr. Pantslett is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Anything further, Miss Washington?
Yes, I do stand corrected. I had it right in my notes, but yes, the last arrest was April of 2013.
So 11 years ago, Your Honor. And what I'm telling you is directly from the warrant. I mean, it can be construed in different ways, but I believe that my reading of the warrant is the plain reading of the warrant. And even in the warrant, the officer says he allegedly walked out angrily. And they tracked his location and he was at the Alpharetta Police Department. I don't think that somebody who's, intending on committing a hit and run is going to be found at the Alpharetta Police Department Annex or what the location was that he was.
And it does say he was found at the Alpharetta Annex at 2565 Old Milton Parkway, if that's the Alpharetta Police Station.
Okay. It'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Mr. Pantslitz, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Leon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next is number 14. It's Winter.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Whitaker. You have been
Yes.
charged in case 24 CR 003898E with battery. Is there a history, Miss Washington?
Yes, Your Honor, this is the defendant's ninth arrest. The last arrest was May 14th of 2024 for criminal trespass, which the defendant appeared to plead NOLO. There's a 2018 NOLO plea for criminal trespass, a 2022 misdemeanor conviction for criminal trespass, a 2023 NOLO plea for criminal trespass, and a 2024 misdemeanor conviction for criminal trespass. The defendant does meet the criteria for level 2. Nothing further.
Sessiano?
Your Honor,
Honor,
I'll
this is-
just chat it, but I'm apologize for interrupting, but this is also a conflict case that we don't have a conflict attorney, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have a right to have an attorney present at these proceedings. Unfortunately, we do not have a conflict attorney available today. If you would like to proceed pro se, we can hear your case today. If you would rather have the advice of an attorney, I'll have to reset your case for tomorrow. What would you like for me to do this afternoon?
So I'm not sure what to say.
Okay, so it's up to you. Why don't you let me hear what's going on, and then I will make a decision. And if you want to come back tomorrow, I'm happy to let you do that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me just see what's going on, Ms. Desiano.
Your Honor, this incident occurred June 17th, 2024 at 1296 Murphy Avenue. The victim, Charlotta Allen, advised the defendant struck her several times with a stick, leaving a bruise on her arm. I have a very bare bones warrant, Your Honor, but I do know that the victim in this case was arrested and charged with aggravated assault. And I'm not sure if pretrial has any information about what the terms are for her bond. I don't believe these parties live together because this wasn't family violence. The state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
And what's the alleged victim's name?
Charlotta Allen.
So, Mr. Whitaker, I take it that you don't have any reason to be around Miss Allen or go back to that Murphy Avenue address, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay, so I'm going to let you sign your own bond, Mr. Whitaker. So it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Miss Allen. Stay away from the 1296 Murphy Avenue address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So I'm going to let you out, but you're going to have to make sure you come back for your next hearing date, okay? Otherwise, I'll put a warrant out for you, okay?
Okay, you tell me when the next hearing date is?
I can't tell you right now because your case will be assigned to a division judge, and you'll get notification from that judge as to when they're going to hear you next. Okay, so you'll have an arraignment at some point, so you'll get notification. Just make sure you stay up to date with your address. You have a good address?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, so just make sure that you stay up to date, and if you leave that address, make sure you let the court know where you've gone to. Okay.
I won't.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Whitaker.
Number 2, Andrews.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003895E with theft by shoplifting and battery. Is there a history, Ms. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor, I did want to let you know that the defendant did appear on the behavioral health list this morning. The defendant does have 35 arrest cycles with this is the 35th arrest with multi-state interaction in Florida and in Georgia. The last arrest was May 8th of 2024 for theft by shoplifting and possession of meth, which appears to be open, and the defendant is on pretrial for that matter, and we would like to surrender the bond. The case number is 24 PI 003255. The defendant does have a 2017 misdemeanor conviction for trespass out of Florida. The defendant did plead no for theft of services and 2 counts of giving a false name, and that was out in 2017. In 2017, the defendant had a misdemeanor conviction for theft by taking and criminal trespass in Fulton County. The case number is 17CR 023740D. 2017, another misdemeanor conviction for theft by shoplifting. Case number is 19CR 007449F. In 2018, there was a misdemeanor conviction for theft by shoplifting. In 2018, the defendant pled no for a separate theft by shoplifting case. In 2019, there is a misdemeanor conviction for theft by taking out of Fulton County. The case number is 19CR 007450B. In 2019, there was another misdemeanor conviction for theft by shoplifting, and that was also out of Fulton County. The case number is 19SC 172998. And there does appear to be a 2020 arrest for simple battery with MARTA Police Department and a 2022 arrest for battery family violence, which appeared to be dismissed. There is an FTA in 2018, an FTA in 2019, 2 FTAs in 2020, 3 FTAs in 2021, and a FTA in 2023. The defendant meets the criteria for level 3. Nothing further.
Yes, Ms. McConkey.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of shoplifting $281 worth of products from Brazilian Wax by Andrea. The victim in this case, Caitlin Buchanan, who is a worker at the Brazilian Wax Center, tried to stop the defendant from stealing the items, and that is when the defendant began to strike her in the head multiple times. Our office has had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Buchanan, who confirmed the events in the warrant and stated that she sustained a gash on her head as well as multiple bruises. She did go to urgent care and was told that she had a concussion. The victim stated she has never seen the defendant prior to this incident and wants no contact, and of course for the defendant to stay away from the location. Given the defendant's lengthy criminal history, the state is recommending a $1,500 surety bond on the theft by shoplifting, a $3,000 surety bond on the battery, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 28 years old. He's lived in the area his entire life. He appears to be doing a job training program at the moment, and I don't want to get into too much detail about his health. He denies the claims as stated in the warrant, but there are probably or possibly some MH issues, but he needs to get out and get back to therapy, and that's what he would like to do. So we would be seeking a signature bond through pretrial at whatever level the court deems appropriate. Have no problem with or no objection to a stay away or no further contact.
Okay, Ms. Washington, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm here.
He's on pretrial. What is and Ms. Bridgewater, if you wouldn't mind getting this down for me also, what is the case number and what was he charged with?
Theft by shoplifting and possession of meth. The case number is 24PI003255.
Okay, I'm sorry, and he doesn't have anything else pending at state court?
No, not that I know of. No.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Ms. Bridgewater. I think that he needs a social worker visit, Mr. Cook. So I think at this point in time, what I will do is, for the theft, it's going to be a $500 good bond. For the battery, a $1,000 good bond. Makes for a total of a $1,500 good bond. I want him to have a social worker visit. If he does not get out on that July 2nd calendar, if you'll have the social worker report back, then I'll take another look at it at that time.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
And in terms of
No further contact with Ms. Buchanan. Stay away from the Brazilian waxed location, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay.
Judge, if I may speak, please, or whatever.
I wish you wouldn't, Mr. Andrews.
I think he needs to hear me. I think he needs to hear what I'm going to say. Judge, if you please can grant me a sense bond. I'm in really right now. I go to River's Edge off of Boulevard. I'm in intense mental health treatment right now, and I go through full kind of behavioral health. At the time of when I took those things from the Brazilian place or whatever, I'm homeless right now, and so it was soaps and it was cologne and it was toothpaste and it was body wash or whatever. When me and a young lady who works in there had got into it or whatever, and she was trying to get the products from me or whatever, and then when I had pushed her or whatever. You can anything that you like. I have a good address and everything, and jail is not the answer for me. Like I just really need to go get my medicines and get my treatment. And I'm just saying, if you grant me a signature bond, that's what I will do. Like I try to stay on top of all my court stuff, whatever. And it's just
Do you have a room at River's Edge?
Yes, I do. I have a room and everything, and I have the number. You can verify anything with my mother. This does not help me. This sitting here.
Okay. I hear you, Mr. Andrews. If you tell me that you have a room at River's Edge,
I have a room
we can get you to River's Edge.
Yes.
I will release you to River's Edge.
Thank you so much, please.
Okay.
My mother's number. My mom's number is Tina. My mother's name is Tina Chris. Her number is 404.
Okay, hold on. Take a breath, sir. I'm gonna. So you
I have
you
your,
have it?
I have your mother's number, Mr. Andrews. She will be able to provide information on your River's Edge,
Thank you, because this is not helping me, and I'm really,
residency.
I'm very,
Okay.
Judge Morrow, I'm very remorseful, and I want to do better with my life, and I want to get out of here, but this sitting in jail is not gonna help me. It's gonna make
I hear you. I hear you, Mr. Andrews. So I'm gonna release you, but
Thank
you
you.
have to. I want his. I'm
I
gonna
will go
release
straight.
him to. Listen to me, Mr. Andrews.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Cook, I'm gonna release him to his mother. You
Okay,
need to get his mother's name to Miss Bridgewater,
I
and
will.
his mother is to take him to River's Edge.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
so I will convert those good bonds into signature bonds through pretrial. And I'm at this point in time, I'm going to make it level 1 because I don't want to overly burden. I
Okay,
don't want to send
I
him off
will.
for failure.
I'll put it in the chat immediately.
Okay, so did you get that, Miss Bridgewater?
I did.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. Thank you so much for thank you, Thank you, Judge Moore, for hearing me and listening to me. And I promise you, I'm going when I get out today, I'm going straight to treatment. I'm going straight back to treatment. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna take you at your word, Mr. Andrews. I don't want to
That's
see
my
you
word.
back. Okay.
I'm not. I'm grateful and I'm humble and I appreciate it. Tthank you so much.
All right. Good
All
luck
right.
to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Position 5.
Your Honor, I had a quick question for you. Just to clarify, you're doing pretrial level 1,
Yes.
and then we're not surrendering the bond for the other pretrial case?
Well, isn't that with the Superior Court or not? Do they have to? Do I have jurisdiction over that? I don't know if I do.
I can let you know.
Okay, and what I would say, Ms. Washington, is if he's gonna get treatment, I would prefer that he get some kind of treatment and be in a mental health facility over surrendering that bond. So, I mean, if I have some say in it, I would say to keep that because it sounds like he was having an episode, but if I don't have any say over it, it'll have to go back to Superior Court.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Position number 5, Crawford.
Good afternoon, Mr. Crawford. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003893J with criminal trespass and battery. Is there a history?
Yes, Your Honor, this is the defendant's second arrest. The last arrest was in 2015 for criminal trespass, stalking, and theft by taking, which the defendant did receive first offender treatment for, and the matter was sealed in 2017. The defendant meets the criteria for level 1, nothing further.
Ms. McConkey?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred on June 17th, 2024. The victim in this case, Brittany Tate Lockett, is the sister of the mother of the defendant's children. Ms. Lockett advised that she was babysitting her sister's children when the defendant entered her residence while being told multiple times not to come inside. The defendant then pushed her in the face, which caused her to fall onto the ground, where she sustained a scratch to her face. The incident was caught on the victim's Ring camera. Our office has had a chance to speak with the victim, Ms. Lockett, who confirmed the events in the warrant, stated she was babysitting her niece and nephew when she heard the defendant and her sister outside arguing. She did not want to open the door, but when she opened it slightly, the defendant barged in, and that is when he pushed her and caused her to fall. She stated that her and the defendant have had verbal arguments in the past, but this is the first time there has been anything physical. She does not want contact with the defendant and wants him to stay away from her residence. The state is recommending a $1,000 surety bond for the criminal trespass and a $2,000 surety bond for the battery. No further contact with the victim. Stay away from the incident location. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. And at this time, I would ask the court to sound for the victim, Ms. Brittany Tate Lockett.
If Ms. Lockett is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 33 years old. He's been a resident of Atlanta for his entire life. He has been working for years as a teacher in the DeKalb County High School system and is about to start to work at Delta. These are his kids, and he could not understand. He denies the specific allegations in the warrant, but these are his children, and he was trying to reach his children at the time of this event. This was at 2 a.m. in the morning, and he did not understand why his children weren't back home with him, where they stay primarily. So we would seek a signature bond to the jail. We have no problem with any stay away or no further contact.
Okay, for the criminal trespass, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the battery, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Lockett, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Crawford.
Next is position number 6, Hunter.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hunter. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003891F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Washington?
Yes, this is the defendant's fourth arrest. The last arrest was in 2018 for driving with license, without a valid license, and the defendant meets the criteria for UJR jail. Nothing further.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of pulling out his boyfriend's dreads. His boyfriend, who is the victim in this case, is Dennis Cephas. The parties were having an argument, and at one point during the altercation, the victim locked himself in the bedroom door, and the defendant put his knee through the door to gain entry. Following the defendant's entry into the bedroom, the defendant grabbed the victim by his hair, taking out 2 dreads. Mr. Cephas did advise that he defended himself by biting and flipping over the defendant as he was pulling on his hair, and police determined that the defendant was the primary aggressor as he put his knee through the door and also pulled out the victim's hair. Our office has had a chance to speak with the victim, who confirmed that him and the defendant are in a relationship and live together at the incident location. The victim stated that nothing like this has ever happened before, and he only called the police because their arguments have never escalated to this point, and he did not know what to do. The victim stated he is not in fear of the defendant and wants to continue contact and wants the defendant to return to the residence. The state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond. At this time, no further contact with the victim to allow some cooling off time, and stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
Mr. Cephas, I see you on the line. If you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I'll need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in.
How's
Yes,
it
sir.
going, Your Honor?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Mr. Cephas. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down and stop walking for me for a moment, okay?
Okay.
All right. So what would you like to tell the court?
Yeah, the accused, he didn't need the door in and start grabbing me. What happened was I had the door already locked. He came in and we just started arguing more. I did throw some insults and everything at him. We did argue some more. And then I also kind of like made him even more angry by just telling him like a false affair and everything. And so he was actually just taking his stuff out the room, and he was asking me questions and I was ignoring him, pretending that I was asleep. And so that's when like he pulled my hair and everything, just attempting to like, I guess, wake me up or something like that, because I was just acting like I was asleep. And, just being defensive and everything, that's when, I kind of defended myself back. And that's when I looked down and seen like just 2 of my locks on the ground. But he didn't kick the door in and then just start attacking me. It was like a good hour or so in between all of that before he pulled my hair. And like I said, like stuff like this has never happened before. It was just I guess it probably just me lying about the affair that probably also could have triggered it. Like we don't have like arguments and stuff that lead to this before. We've never had a disagreement that, you know, led up to this situation. This is just a first time. So yeah, like I know he has my best interest at heart. He's always there for me. He looks out for me. Like he's a good person. Like I'm not afraid of him or anything. It was just the heat of the moment. I feel like, you know, it's been 2 days since the altercation happened. I feel like, you know, we've already cooled off and we're at a better headspace now. If anything, I'm agreeing to do couples counseling. That is my fiance. Uh, so I'm agreeing to like do couples counseling and everything. If it just brings him back home.
Okay, so you want him back in the household
Yes.
and you're not afraid of him?
No, sir.
And this hasn't happened before?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you for being here this afternoon, Mr. Cyphers.
My pleasure.
Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, given Mr. Cephas's comments and the defendant's background, which I think was just a driving violation in November 18th, we would be seeking a signature bond through the jail. Frankly, my client is not certain he wants to go back, so he would like to at least have the option, whatever the conditions, to have a one-time law enforcement officer go with him to retrieve his belongings. He may be in a position where he just at this point wants to end the relationship.
Okay, so what you would like me to do, Mr. Cook, is say no further contact, stay away from the residence, and a one-time escort to retrieve his belongings.
Yes, yes.
Okay. With that being the case, it will be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Dennis Cephas.
Your Honor,
State.
I do want contact with Mr. Cephas. I just was told by the police that he was pressing a temporary restraining order on me, which is why I made that decision earlier to gather my things. But now that I see that the defendant is okay with me coming back home and us working the situation out, I will agree to come back home.
Okay, well, at this point, I'm not comfortable with that myself, Mr. Hunter. So I'm gonna let you out, and I'm gonna give you a signature bond through the jail, but I'm gonna order until all of this is resolved, that you have no further contact and that you stay away from that location. You can go back to that location on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve your belongings, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. I think that what you were thinking to begin with is probably for the best, okay? All right, good luck to you, Mr. Hunter.
Thank you.
Position number 7, Johnson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. You have been charged in case 24 CR 0038888F with hit and run. Is there a history, Ms. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor, this is the defendant's 4th arrest. The last arrest was in October of 2019 for theft by conversion, which appeared to be null priced. And the defendant does meet the criteria for UJR. Nothing further.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of hitting a MARTA bus with the tag number GB8584C. When officers arrived at the scene, they found the defendant's vehicle, a Dodge Challenger, unoccupied on the sidewalk with significant damage to the front end. They also met with the MARTA bus driver, Jamal Bey, who stated that the defendant struck the bus on the driver's side rear. Video footage did show the defendant driving recklessly and laying drag before losing control and striking the MARTA bus. The state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond, no further contact with that MARTA bus driver, Jamal Bey, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 32 years old. He lives in the Rockmart area, which is near Rome, so he's not that far away, and it's not a threat not to appear in court. He has been working in sanitation for 6 years. He denies the accusations as stated in the warrant. Given his rather slight record, we would be seeking a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate, and whatever conditions. Obviously, I'm not sure a stay away or a no further contact has any is relative here, but we would certainly be seeking a signature bond.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with the alleged victim, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
And is this Miss on the Nokia? Is that someone for Mr. Johnson? Okay, who do we have next?
Position 7, I'm sorry, position number 8, Joyner.
Good afternoon, Mr. Joyner. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003892B with battery. Is there a history, Ms. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor. This is the defendant's second arrest. The last arrest was in April of 2017 for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. The defendant does meet the criteria for UJR. Nothing further.
Thank you, Ms. McConkey.
Yes, Your Honor. Officers were dispatched to 565 Hank Aaron, Atlanta, in regard to a dispute call. Upon arrival, officers met with the victim, Lauren Robinson, who stated that the defendant had attacked her. Ms. Robinson stated that the defendant and 2 other men came out of nowhere when she went to pick up her DoorDash order and began jumping her. The victim sustained an abrasion to her knee. Officers reviewed social media video evidence as well as text messages where the defendant was discussing the incident and describing how he fought the victim. The state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Lauren Robinson, stay away from the incident location, which is the entire, I think it's Windsor apartment complex, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
If Ms. Robinson is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Ms. Atai?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 33 years old. Lived in Georgia all his life. He has very little criminal history. This is his second arrest. The first was about 7 years ago for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. He is recommended for a signature bond through the jail. This incident happened January of last year. He firmly denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. He states that he doesn't know somebody named Lauren Robinson. I'm not sure. It says it's an ex-friend, Your Honor. But he does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. He has really no criminal history. The possession of marijuana, definitely nothing violent, and he's 33 years old. And he's fine with no further contact and a stay away from 565 Hank Aaron or that Windsor apartment complex. Nothing further.
All right, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Lauren Robinson, stay away from the Windsor apartments, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Joyner.
Position number 11, Low.
Good afternoon, Mr. Lowe. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003902H with simple battery family violence. Is there a history?
Yes, Your Honor. This is the defendant's 28th arrest with multi-state interaction in Georgia, Florida, and with the Army. The last arrest was in November of 2019 for a DUI and endangering by a DUI, which appeared to be dismissed through the completion of the conditional discharge program. There is a 2009 misdemeanor conviction for disorderly conduct, and it was also brawling fight, and a 2012 battery domestic violence arrest in Florida, which appeared to be dismissed. a 2018 felony conviction for burglary and criminal trespass, a 2015 felony conviction for possession of a controlled substance, and a 2008 felony conviction for larceny and pass forgery out of Florida, 2006 felony conviction for possession of cocaine and possession of marijuana in Florida. The defendant does appear to be serving a 10-year sentence on probation in Florida for burglary and damage to property. The sentence date was January 24th, 2018, and the defendant does meet the criteria for level 2. Nothing further.
Your Honor, this incident took place June 15th, 2024. Officers responded to the College Park MARTA station regarding a domestic dispute. The officer made contact with the bus driver, who stated that the defendant was aggressively shoving and pushing his son. And there was CCTV footage that also showed the defendant striking his son. We have not been in touch with the victim because he is 14. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial, a no further violent contact with the victim, a stay away from MARTA, anger awareness, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond.
Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 47 years old. He has lived in Georgia for several years now. He denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. He states that he was leaving from taking his two children, a 15-year-old and a 10-year-old, to the swimming pool during the day and left his phone at the pool. And so they needed to kind of backtrack and get back on the MARTA bus. And his 15-year-old was not wanting to cooperate, was tired from a long day at the swimming pool with the family and didn't want to go back. And he was just trying to get his son to go back so that he could get his phone from the swimming pool. And he stated that the next thing he knew, the people at MARTA jumped him, and the warrant reflects that he did sustain injuries from that encounter with the bystanders at MARTA. He states that he woke up on a gurney. Your Honor, he has graduated from high school. He has a bachelor's degree from Florida A&M University. He did serve in the Army and was honorably discharged in 2004. He states that he picks up his two children every weekend. I have no objection to the signature bond through pretrial services. I would object to the anger awareness. I think the bystanders at MARTA need an anger awareness class, and no violent contact with the children. Nothing further.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further violent contact with the alleged victim, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Lowe.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Next is number 13, Sims.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sims. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003899G with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor. This is the defendant's 43rd arrest. Last arrest was in February of 2019 for criminal trespass and purchase, possession, or sale of marijuana. There is a 96 battery arrest that was dismissed, a 97 battery family violence arrest that didn't show any disposition listed. There is a 98 abandonment arrest with no disposition listed, a 2001 aggravated assault arrest, a 2007 battery family violence, cruelty in the second, and aggravated assault arrest that appeared to be dead docketed. And that was out of Fulton County. The case number is 07SC63007. A 2010 felony conviction for burglary out of Fulton County. The case number is 10SC91016. Also, there appears to be a 2008 misdemeanor conviction for battery and cruelty in the third out of Fulton County. The case number is 10SC94930. A 2016 simple battery family violence that appeared to be null pros out of Fulton County, and the case number is 15CR009175A. There are 4 felony convictions outside of the 10-year period, mostly nonviolent drug-related and 7 misdemeanor convictions outside of the 10-year period that were mostly drug related. There are 2 FTAs from 2016, and the defendant does meet the criteria for level 2. Nothing further.
This incident took place June 16th, 2024. Officers responded to a fight in progress at 187 Maury Avenue. Witnesses who were there stated that the defendant attempted to kick down the door at unit 1613. He eventually made entry and then put the victim, whose name is Latanya Marshall, in a headlock and punched her in the face. Miss Marshall had a cut under her right eye and her eye was swollen. Unfortunately, we've not been in touch with her. Given the defendant's history, the state is recommending a $2,500 good bond, no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. And if we could sound for Miss Latanya Marshall.
If Miss Marshall is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
And she is.
Kim?
Oh, what's she like?
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Mr. Sims, he is 44 years old, and actually, I believe he met with a social worker, and Your Honor, he does not have any other place to go to, and he has currently no job. So if he gets any kind of good bond, it's kind of like getting a no bond, Your Honor.
I'm here.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't mind her to go first.
This Miss Marshall, I'm here. I hear y'all. Y'all can't hear me.
Okay, well, we can hear you now, Miss Marshall. So I need for you to activate your camera.
I can see y'all. I can't. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Hello?
You have to turn your camera around to your face, Miss Marshall.
Okay, hold on.
We're watching a seat.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so raise your right hand for me, ma'am.
My right hand.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
You said what, sir? Your Honor?
What would you like to tell me?
Oh, nah, I just didn't want to press no charges on him. He needs some type of counseling or something like that so he could get himself together. But I don't want to press no charges, and he don't live with me, so he ain't got to come around me, and I don't have to be around him.
Okay, all right. So, anything further?
Judge,
No.
can I ask her a quick question?
Yes, go ahead, Ms. Essiano.
Miss Marshall, what is your relationship to Mr. Sims?
That's my children, Dad. I have 3 children by him.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you for being here, Miss Marshall. Go ahead, Miss.
Yes,
All right.
Your Honor. He does odd jobs right now. He is working with his uncle, doing pressure washer, lawn mowing. However, he's still qualified for public defender services because his income is not high enough. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond through pretrial level 2, as he is recommended. So, and I believe that she did not call the police, and she does not want to press charges against, and my client has no objection to stay away. And we do not need a third-party transfer because those 3 kids are already over 18, and he just needs one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit if he has to stay away from that location. However, he has no other place to go to. Thank you.
Okay, it'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. No further contact with Ms. Marshall. Stay away from the Maury Avenue address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Sims.
We have, Watley, but he's not on the calendar.
So, tell me again who this is?
Watley, but he's not on the calendar.
Add-on calendar.
I didn't receive an add-on calendar. Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Add-on.
there are 3 additional cases that are on an add-on calendar. And if it's Orion, I may be mispronouncing it, Watley, they're position number 3 on the add-on calendar.
Okay. Okay. Add-on number 3.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Watley. You've been charged in case 24 CR 003927A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history?
Yes, Your Honor, this is the defendant's 5th arrest. The last arrest was in 2017. The defendant, I'm sorry, for an FTA, and there is a 2017 misdemeanor conviction for a DUI, a FTA in 2017, and the defendant does meet the criteria for level 1. Nothing further.
Judge, this incident took place about 2 years ago almost on Halloween of 2022 at 903 Pine Tree Trail in Atlanta. Officers made contact with the victim, Mia Patrick, who advised the defendant pushed her in a bathtub and struck her in the head with a closed fist. The defendant and the victim share children together. Our office has been in touch with her. She states that they no longer live at the incident location. They share 5 children together. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that they were in an argument. She walked away and he pushed her into the tub and began hitting her. She stated this is not the first time that the defendant's been violent towards her and also not the first time the police have been called. She stated that there was an altercation this past Sunday where she had to call the police, and that's how the defendant was arrested on this warrant. She does state that she thinks the defendant needs some serious anger management classes. However, she's not in fear of him and wants to have contact. I understand that, Your Honor, but given the domestic violence history between the parties, the state's going to recommend a signature bond through pretrial and no further contact with the victim, a stay away from their residence, which is 835 Durham Crossing in Stone Mountain, anger awareness classes, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we could sound for Mia Patrick.
If Ms. Patrick is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity.
Yes, I'm on here. I didn't agree to that.
Okay, Ms. Patrick. Okay, calm down. First of all, I need for you to activate your camera.
Okay, you have to do it again so I can activate it.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay, now I need for you to stand still for me. Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down now. Go ahead. Tell me what you want to tell me.
I did say I want him to get anger management counseling, but I don't want to go on with the charges. And he has to come around. We have kids, and I didn't say he couldn't come back at all.
So what happened yesterday? What happened yesterday?
It just was an argument about the kids. That's it. But
Well, how did he? Okay, go ahead. Who did
how
you
did
have
he
to
end
call?
up in jail?
Did you have to call
Because
the
he
police?
had a warrant. He had a warrant.
Did you call the police?
We both called the police so it wouldn't escalate, so we could get some help on getting it down.
Okay. And how many children do you have?
We have 5.
And does he take care of them?
Yeah, he do, and he take care of my other 2 too.
Okay. All
Now,
right.
I don't want to go further with these charges, and I would ask if he could be released with a signature bond, because he do have a job to get back to, and his kids missing him as well. So I'm not pressing any charges.
All right.
I
Well,
think it was just a situation where we were moving from Tennessee, and he was extra tired. He does have a sleeping disorder, so I think he was just overwhelmed.
Okay. All
But
right. Thank you for being here, Ms. Patrick.
You're welcome.
I'm not sure where we were. Had you completed, Ms. Desiano?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, my client is 36 years old, and as he as she already mentioned, they have 5 children together. They have been living together. It has been almost 2 years. A note for the violent contact is requested. He's gainfully employed as a truck repairing maintenance person, and he does have 5 children. They are very, very young. 8 months, 1 year old, 3 year old, 4 years old. So it's very important for them to get together. We would like to request for signature on bond through pretrial level 1 with no further violent contact, Your Honor.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Ms. Patrick, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Watley.
Okay. Position number 1 on the add-on calendar, she posted bond, and position number 2 is a waiver.
Okay, so Drugly posted posted bond,
Yes,
and Ali is going to be a waiver, okay? And what about position 4 on the regular calendar?
let's see. Position number 4 is a waiver, and position number 12 as well.
And what about 15?
Oh, good. Hold on. Hold on, Judge, let me ask.
Okay, well, as you do that, I'll just go down the calendar and we'll do the waivers, and I'll hear back from you on Williams. Position 4, Demario Brown, case 24 CR 003894H, criminal trespass. Their history, Ms. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor. This is a defendant's 30th arrest with multi-state interaction in Georgia and Michigan. The last arrest was in May of 2024 for a probation violation. The defendant had a 2018 misdemeanor conviction for disorderly conduct, which was reduced from criminal trespass. The case number is 18MAGC 01046. Another 2018 misdemeanor conviction for criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, and giving false name. Another 2018 misdemeanor conviction for criminal trespass in Fulton County. The case number is 18CR01132Y. Another 2018 misdemeanor conviction for criminal trespass and theft by shoplifting in Fulton County. And the case number is 18CR01060Y. A 2020 misdemeanor conviction for criminal trespass and a 2024 felony conviction for criminal trespass. The defendant does have an open case with Fulton County for theft by shoplifting. The case number is 24PI 002312, and the offense date was March 17th, 2024. The defendant appears to be serving 5 years on probation in DeKalb County for criminal attempt, and that sentence date was February 27th of 2024. Also, the defendant appears to be serving 1 year on probation for a theft by shoplifting case, and that sentence date was January 28th of 2022, and he also received 2 years of confinement. There are 2 FTAs in 2019, 1 FTA in 2020, 1 FTA in 2024, and the defendant meets the criteria for level 3. Nothing further.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is accused of criminally trespassing at the Target located at 375 18th Street Northwest in Atlanta. I believe that's the Atlantic Station Target. He already had received several criminal trespasses from this location. The most recent one was from May 17th, 2024. The state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial, but he has got to stay away from that Atlantic Station Target. So a stay away from that incident location. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Is he residentially challenged, Mr. Cook?
Not that I know of, Your Honor. He's given me an address and has not, and I asked, and he did not state that he.
Okay, all right.
Challenged.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, we would have no objection to the recommendation of the state.
All right, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Stay away from the target on 18th Street, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, moving on to position 12, Mr. Reardon, charged in case 24 CR 003900C with battery. Is there a history?
Yes, Your Honor. This is the defendant's 31st arrest with multi-state interaction in South Carolina and Virginia. The last arrest was in 2021 for public disorderly conduct and trespass, and that was out of South Carolina. There is a 2007 simple assault arrest in South Carolina, a 2020 assault and battery and entry on another's land in South Carolina. The defendant has seven misdemeanor convictions that are nonviolent. The defendant does appear to have a hold in South Carolina for an FTA with the warrant date of May 25th, 2022. There was one FTA in 2017 out of Virginia, and the defendant meets the criteria for level 2. Nothing further.
Judge, this incident occurred June 17th, 2024. Officers were dispatched to the 14th Street Grocery and Halal Meat Market at 398 14th Street regarding a battery. An employee who works there, his name's Mohammed Chaudhry, stated that he was locking up the market to go get some lunch. The defendant approached him and demanded some cigarettes. The victim told him no, and the defendant came and punched him in the face. The victim had a bruise on his right cheek. Our office has not been in touch with him. Our office is recommending a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. And if we could sound for Mr. Chaudhry.
Mr. Chaudhry is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. I actually requested social worker service to have a visit with him. He has been homeless. That's another reason that he was kind of getting into a lot of troubles. Your Honor, we have no objection to a signature on bond through pretrial.
Okay, and Mr. Reardon is position number 12. $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Chaudhry, stay away from the 14th Street address, social worker visit, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you.
Okay, position number 15, Williams. There's Tani Williams, charged in case 24 CR 003897B with criminal trespass and criminal trespass to property. Is there a history?
Yes, this is the defendant's 10th arrest with multi-state interaction in Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. And the defendant did appear on the behavioral health list this morning. The last arrest was in January of 2023 for an FTA. There was a 2019 aggravated assault. And there appears to be an open case in Fulton County, South Fulton, for aggravated assault. There's a 2021 FTA and a 2023 FTA, and the defendant meets the criteria for level 2. Nothing further.
Judge, this incident occurred June 17th, 2024. Officers were dispatched to 1630 Boulevard, Lorraine Southwest regarding a burglary. Upon arrival, they made contact with the owner of the property. Her name is Cheryl Brown. She advised that she came to the residence to get some paperwork. She noticed there was music coming from downstairs in the basement and noticed that someone had been eating food and the lights were on. The residence was supposed to be vacant. The officer went into the basement and found the defendant, who stated that she needed a place to sleep and had been squatting there for a couple weeks. And the defendant gained access to the property by breaking a basement window. Our office has not been in touch with Ms. Brown. The state's recommending a signature bond through pretrial, a no further contact with Cheryl Brown, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond, and if we could sound for Cheryl Brown.
Ms. Brown is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client has been homeless, and she is actually 31 years old, and I already requested social worker visit and get BHET done. I believe that she does have some behavioral issues. That's about it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, for each count, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Stay away from the incident location. No further contact with Ms. Brown. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and a social worker visit.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe the last case is on the add-on calendar, position 2. Ali, charged in case 24 CR 003901D with simple battery against a person who is 65 years or older or is pregnant at the time of the offense. Is there a history?
Yes, Your Honor. This is the defendant's first arrest. No criminal history on file. The defendant meets the criteria for level 1. Nothing further.
Your Honor, this incident occurred June 14th, 2024. Officers responded to a dispute at 368 Sapphire Bend in Riverdale. The victim, Tamika Ali, she's 20 weeks pregnant. She stated the defendant struck her 2 times in her back and her arms, causing her to fall to the ground. However, the officer also observed that her shirt was stretched out like someone had pulled it. She was very dirty. She was sweating profusely, like there had been some big altercation. However, they did not notice any injuries. The state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial and no further contact with the victim. Stay away from the incident location. Anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol out on bond. Our office has not been in touch with the victim. If we could sound for Tamika Ali.
If Tamika Ali is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity. Is it time?
Yes, yes, Your Honor. My client is 17 years old. She is a Georgia resident. She is a recent graduate. She just graduated in May from Tri-Cities High School. She wants to go to school to become a nail tech. The complaining witness in this case is her mother. My client denies the allegations as stated in the warrant. I haven't been able to get in touch with the mother. She tells me that she has an aunt who could possibly sign for her mother's twin sister. I have not been able to find any contact information. I was trying to find the mother's phone number because she's 17. She doesn't remember her mom's phone number. I mean, I did see a felony case in 2022 that the mom has where my client is listed as the victim. So I think there is a lot of history here that's concerning for my client, less so the complaining witness. I would like to have another day to get in touch. I think she's 17. She has to be released through pretrial services. So she needs an adult co-signer. So I just need more time to find a phone number for the aunt. What I found in Odyssey for the mom, it was a text now number and it's not working.
So you're asking me to reset this until tomorrow, Ms. Atai?
Unless she can get out of jail in other ways.
I'm not gonna put a 17-year-old on the street without any place to go. What I will do is, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. She's gonna have to have a co-signer, so once we can fill in who that co-signer is, if you're able to do that, whomever that is, as long as it's an adult, I'm happy to have you be able to tell the court who that is.
Okay, and so I have, I did last week have a release through pretrial for a 17-year-old, and I think that it's, and Miss Washington from pretrial would know, but I think that you can state an age and say the co-signer, but I don't know if we have to specify a name or if we have to. If we have to, then I can just speak with the judge tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. As far as I know, we would need that information to do the release, unfortunately.
We did have a case wasn't it last week, PDATI, where the Judge Law ordered them, the co-signer had to be like 18 or older, and that was the only condition, or did the brother have to be on it?
I think we did have a name, actually.
Oh, okay.
But in this case, what age do you require for the co-signer, Judge Law?
I mean, I believe
If
that
I
they just
can
have to be,
chime in on this, we did
yes,
have a case last week, and normally it's 21, but I think the judge law made an exception. Just last week, I think it was like 18 or whatever, but they definitely have to have a name.
Oh,
Can't
okay.
be without a name.
well,
All right, so 21 and with a name.
okay.
So from my understanding, I just spoke with someone and they told me that it was 25
Okay.
from
But-
under their belief. So
Well, it doesn't look like we even have a name, so.
yeah.
I can give you a name. For now, I may need to change it, but I can give you a name. The name is, one, I haven't spoken with the mom, so I don't know. Ideally, I would
Yeah.
think that she would want to go back to the home with her mom and have, or at least be able to have contact. But anyway, I'll give the aunt's name. Tanika is just like the complaining witness's name, but with an N instead of an M. So Tanika Ollie.
T-I, oh,
T
spell that.
Tenyka. Ollie.
Tanika Ali. Okay, and that's the, that is the aunt?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 with Tanika Ali as the co-signer. At this point in time, no further contact and a stay away unless you hear from the mother, and the mother will accept her back into the household. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Thank you.
Okay,
Judge, our office has texted her and tried to leave her a voicemail, but the mailbox was full, so we tried to get a hold of her.
okay. And that was a mother you tried to get a hold of, Tamika.
The
Okay,
victim.
right.
Yeah,
But Tanika is the sister. I mean, the aunt.
Tanika is the aunt.
Okay.
they're
Tamika is,
twins, Tamika and Tanika.
Okay. All right, are we clear?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, does that, I believe that completes the calendar?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ms. Bridgewater, whenever you're ready for me.
Okay, give me just a second, Your Honor. Okay, I think I'm ready. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be July the 2nd. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 2 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,500. No. Position number 2 is reset further notice with a total $1,500 SOB through pretrial. Position 3, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 4 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 5 is reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 6, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 7, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 8, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 9, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 10, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 11, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 12, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 13, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 14, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. 15, reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. On the add-on, position number 1 is reset further notice as the defendant has been released. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial with the co-signer being Tanika Ali. And position number 3 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Okay, if not, thank you all very much. I will see you next time.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Get that signed as soon as you get it to me, Miss Bridgewater.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Bridgewater,
Yes, sir.
did you receive the information I sent you on Adonis Andrews' mother?
Yes, Miss
Okay.
Tina Price or Chris? I
Yes.
did.
Okay,
I
thank
have.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Miss.
you. Mhm.
Okay, bye-bye.